Welcome back to the channel. Here you'll find the fastest updates on breaking news, shocking secrets, and dramatic predictions for times. The young and the restless. Who will betray whom? What secrets are about to be revealed? And what horrific tragedy awaits the characters in Genoa City? Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us to discover the unmissable developments right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. It's a beautiful day to dive into the absolute chaos of Genoa City. We have so much to unpack today, so grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get right into the thick of it. I cannot believe what I just watched. I mean, seriously, are we actually doing this right now? Nikki Newman is literally driving me up the wall, and I just need to vent about this because the level of denial this woman is operating on is truly astronomical. I am typing this up late at night, my mind is racing, and I just have to get these thoughts out before my head explodes. Am I the only one who is screaming at their screen right now? Nikki is sitting there having just survived a literal suicide attempt, and because she gets one tiny microscopic sign of her vision returning, she suddenly thinks she is completely cured of her severe, life-threatening depression? Are you kidding me? Let's just break down exactly what happened, because my jaw is still on the... Victoria is sitting there, trying with every ounce of her soul to convince her mother to check into a psychiatric facility. Victoria is pleading. She is desperate. She is looking at her mother, who just days ago wrote a suicide note and took a bottle of pills because she felt like a burden. And right in the middle of this heartbreaking, heavy conversation, Nikki gets a small sign of visual recovery. A shadow, a blur of light, whatever it is. And instead of saying, wow, this is a great step forward, but I still need mental help, Nikki completely shuts down the therapy. She latches on to this tiny glimmer of sight, like it's a magic wand that is going to erase the fact that she wanted to end her own life. Because, let's be real here, Nikki is using this physical recovery as a massive shield to avoid dealing with her broken psyche. She is clinging to this hope, outright refusing any psychiatric help, and claiming that her returning vision will magically solve all of her problems. I'm sorry, but no. That is not how mental illness works. You don't just get your eyesight back and suddenly forget the crushing, suffocating darkness that drove you to a pill bottle. Victoria can see right through it, and the absolute desperation in Victoria's eyes is breaking. You can see Victoria watching her mother delude herself, and it is terrifying. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and talk about Victoria first. I know some people are loving this whole Nikki getting her sight back miracle angle, but personally, I think this is a massive red flag. And Victoria is the only one acting rationally. Victoria is carrying the weight of the entire Newman empire on her shoulders, and now she has to parent her own mother. She is watching Nikki build this house of cards, knowing that the second Nikki gets a headache or her vision blurs again, that house is going to come crashing down, and Nikki might not survive the fall this time. So what does Victoria do? She does the smartest thing she has done in years. She goes to Nick and Sharon, and I am so here for this trio. Can we talk about this? Victoria sharing her deep, dark fears about Nikki's mental state with Nick and Sharon is the best writing decision Josh Griffith has made in months. Because who else is going to understand this better than they have the actual real-world experience to handle a mental health crisis. I mean, let's look at Sharon for a minute. Sharon has a degree in psychology, yes, but more importantly, she has lived it. Remember when they tried to lock Sharon up in Fairview? Remember her struggles with bipolar disorder, her hallucinations, her complete breaks from reality? Sharon knows exactly what it looks like when someone is lying to themselves to avoid the stigma of a psychiatric. Sharon knows the shame, the fear, and the absolute terror of losing control of your own mind. She is the perfect person to see through Nikki's defensive walls. Even though Nikki and Sharon have had a notoriously toxic history, Sharon stepping up to help her former mother-in-law is pure gold. And then there's Nick. Oh, poor Nick. He is literally fresh off his own horrific spiral into fentanyl addiction in Las Vegas. He was tortured by Matt Clark, he hit absolute rock bottom, and he had to admit that he needed inpatient rehab. Nick knows what it means to be a Newman, who is supposed to be strong, but who is secretly drowning in addiction and despair. Nick can look his mother in the eye and say, "Mom, I was taking pills to numb my pain, and you took pills to end yours." We are the same, and we both need professional help. It is such a powerful dynamic. So the three of them, Victoria, Nick, and Sharon, are planning this, and they are planning to approach Nikki gently but firmly. They know they can't just barge in and yell at her, because Nikki will just throw up her defensive ice queen persona and shut them out. They have to use their personal experiences, their deep empathy, and their understanding of mental health to slowly dismantle Nikki's delusion that seeing again means I'm happy. But let's be honest, they also have to do this secretly because of Victor. Okay, back to the point of why Victor is a problem. If Victor gets involved, he will ruin it. Victor's idea of helping is barking orders, hiring a private security team, and throwing money at the problem while demanding absolute loyalty. Victor is the reason Nikki felt so isolated in the first place. His constant war with Jack Abbott, his controlling nature, his obsession with Newman Enterprises, it all suffocated Nikki. Victoria, Nick, and Sharon know that this intervention has to be handled with surgical emotional precision, and Victor is a sledgehammer. But even with this brilliant plan, Victoria is facing a nightmare that I didn't even think about until I watched the. Finding a psychiatric facility or a specialist for Nikki Newman is proving to be an absolute logistical disaster. Victoria is hitting brick wall after brick wall, and it is stressing me out just watching. Because think about it. You can't just check Nikki Newman into Genoa City Memorial's general psych ward. She is a high-profile celebrity in their world. The paparazzi would be swarming the hospital within 5 minutes. The press would have a field day. Newman matriarch on suicide watch. Newman Enterprises stock would absolutely plummet, and Victor would go on a rampage. Victoria has to find a place that offers ironclad CIA-level discretion, which is already incredibly difficult. And it's not just the fame factor. You have to look at Nikki's incredibly complex medical and psychiatric. Finding a doctor who is qualified to handle her specific case is like finding a needle in a haystack. Nikki has multiple sclerosis, which requires specialized neurological care. She is recovering from major brain surgery to remove a tumor on her optic nerve. She is dealing with the trauma of temporary and potentially fluctuating blindness. On top of all that, she is a recovering alcoholic with a decades-long history of substance abuse. And now she has severe suicidal depression. Victoria is literally calling these elite exclusive facilities, and they are either rejecting the case because it's too medically complex, or they are offering solutions that are completely inadequate for someone with Nikki's physical vulnerabilities. The frustration Victoria is feeling is so palpable. She is desperate to save her mother's life. She finally has Nick and Sharon on board to help break through Nikki's denial, but she has nowhere safe to send her. It is adding this incredible layer of ticking clock tension to the storyline. Am I the only one who thinks Victoria is going to have a breakdown of her own just trying to coordinate all of this? She is watching her mother smile and pretend everything is fine just because the room isn't pitch black anymore. Nikki is probably ordering new dresses, talking about charity galas, and acting like the suicide note she wrote to Victor was just a minor hiccup. It is chilling. It is the textbook definition of a manic flight into health, where the patient convinces themselves they are cured to avoid the hard work of therapy. I've been watching this show since 2015, and this is honestly one of the most realistic depictions of mental health denial they've ever done. Remember when they tried this kind of storyline with Chelsea, when she had her breakdown and poisoned Ray? Didn't work then because it felt rushed. But this feels earned. Nikki has been beaten down for months. Between Patty Williams running amok, Victor's endless manipulations, the fear of losing her sight forever, and her own internal demons, she broke. And now she is terrified to look at the broken pieces. I am predicting right now that this intervention is going to be explosive. When Victoria, Nick, and Sharon finally corner Nikki and lay it all out on the table, Nikki is going to lash out. She is going to use every vicious, cutting remark she can think of to push them away. She will probably throw Sharon's past in her face. She will probably belittle Nick's recent rehab stint, and she will definitely accuse Victoria of trying to lock her away to take full control of her life. It is going to be brutal, ugly, and incredibly emotional. But they cannot back down. If they let Nikki use this partial vision recovery as a get-out-of-therapy free card, she is going to crash twice as hard the next time her MS flares up or her vision blurs. I just hope Victoria can find a doctor who is willing to take on the hurricane that is Nikki Newman before it's too late. The clock is ticking, the denial is suffocating, and I am going to be glued to my screen every single day to see how this plays. Josh Griffith, please do not mess this up. We need to see the messy, hard work of mental health recovery, not just a miraculous. All right, I need to go take a breath and calm down before I wake up my whole house typing so aggressive. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Nikki going to accept the help, or is she going to run straight to Victor to protect her from the inner?